Hi, this is Sarah, the Stitchin Mommy, and it's Monday, October 10th, 2022. Here for my weekly cross-stitching update. I have a big box here of stuff I got from the Fat Quarter Shop, and Smokey thinks it's really great. So I'll be sharing that with you in a minute. First, I have some things that I got myself. I've been kitting up Jeanette Douglas's 4 Seasons sampler, and I have been waiting on the silks. They've been back ordered, and so I got one of them this week, Harvest Grape by Gloriana. Oh yeah, you like that little tail there that's sticking out. So pretty. I decided to go ahead and get these because they're like border colors where they're meant to change color, and so I figured you really can't replicate that in something else. So I am still waiting on one more, and then I will have no excuses for not starting that project. However, I might be good and wait to start that one until I finish my other Jeanette Douglas piece, the My Story. You know, maybe? Maybe I'll be good. Kind of like my counted canvas piece. I could try to stick with one. I know some people do that where they have one project per designer. I have a lot of different designers represented in what I do, and I can't do that with everything, but for some things where it's just more of a let's just test this designer and have fun with it kind of thing, it might be good to just do one per designer. Anyways, in that case, I think I might try to finish My Story before I start 4 Seasons. They're very similar with specialty stitches and bands and stuff, so oh, Kitty's so happy. All right. I also finally used my gift card that I received for my birthday at Artisty Cross Stitch. These are courtesy of Colette. I used some of my own money to like round out to get all of them. So thank you so much. It took me a long time. So these three, I found 3 patterns from Artisty, and it was really hard to narrow it down. The first one is Kingdom with Dragons. I got the large version because, you know, I need the detail. This one technically would appeal to my younger son, so if it ever got finished, I think I could give it to him. And it's classy enough. I think he could even enjoy it as an adult. But even if he wouldn't want it by the time it's finished, it's really pretty. Like, it's got these castles in the background and flowers. There's like unicorns down here and birds and butterflies, a rainbow, waterfalls. Pretty cool. So I like that one. And Kittens in the library. I mean, you know me. I have friends in the library already that has books and 2 cats, but this was just too adorable to pass up. And potentially, if I ever finish this in my lifetime, my daughter could have this because she is also a huge fan of cats. So she claims she wants like 1 million of them when she's grown up, so we'll see what happens. And then one more, I bought Delightful Waltz. This is the Leonard Afrimoff one. And this one just kind of spoke to me. I've always kind of liked his style, but a lot of the things he does have like short bursts of paint strokes. And there was a ballet one I was looking at that had that look to it, like the Farewell to Anger has that look. But this one was more sweeping and pinker, and it just drew me. I know I have something similar with End of the Ball with, you know, dancers being the focus piece, but it was just so pretty. So I got that one too. I don't know when I'll start these, but I am feeling more okay with starting things than I was after my whip parade. So last week I was like, I don't feel like starting anything. I don't want to, you know, but I'm feeling a little bit better. I do feel like finishing things. So I'm thinking if I can combine the two and get some things finished, I'll feel okay to start some things. So we'll see. I am really enjoying, I am going back to my Hidden Harbor desires to start that sooner than later. This one by Andy Russell. There were 2 Artisty patterns that I was drawn to that I realized I liked because they were kind of both like this one. So I figured, well, I already have this one, so let's just start that one. That would satisfy the desires of both of those pieces. So, yeah, we'll see. I'm not sure when I'll start anything new at this point. I just started something new this week. But beyond that, most likely I'll have a New Year, New Start as well. Right now it's planned for the Quick Stitch Library Grand Romance, but I don't know. I'm a little bit hesitant to maybe do Hidden Harbor instead, or I don't know. I would like to keep my whips down under 100, but you know. That's a loose goal, right? I don't want to get over that number. That would be really nice to stay under that number. So then I got to just be faithful to not start things. And I think my problem tends to be I start small things that are just on a whim and then I don't finish them. These big ones, if I start them, I know they will not likely get finished. And that's okay. It's more the journey for me on the really big ones. But there are some pieces, I think I mentioned this last week, that I kind of intend to finish. I want them finished. I don't want them hanging out. Those are the ones that kind of bug me that they're still here. So if I can be better about those ones, then having a lot of big ones isn't going to be as much of a problem in my mind, I think. So that's kind of where I'm at. Anyways, I guess, should we show this, Smokey? Yeah. Should we show all this stuff? Fat Quarter Shop sent me this enormous box. I was kind of surprised. Apparently they have some things they have high stock in and wanted to pass it along. So I have an affiliate link down below, so you can, if any of these things interest you, feel free to go over there and take a look. I'm not sure how much of this I'll be able to give away because it would be difficult to ship. Some of it might sneak into giveaways here and there. So the first one is a stitch card box. I actually have one of these that they sent me before. That's the teal one. This one is a red one. And you can store, they show, oh yeah, they show in here, there's like dividers, they're alphabetical. So you can put the stitch cards in there. They fit perfectly. I've got stitch cards in mine and Mill Hills. Mill Hills are a touch too tall, but I think I have them on the side and they fit okay if they're like at a little bit of an angle. But it's good enough. So I've got my Mill Hill kits in there. But you could put anything in there really, like flosses and who knows what's. Smokey's gonna check out the rest of this stuff. There's a cross-stitch journal, which is pretty cute. This might see a giveaway at some point. They have project pages, so you can fill out what you, details about your projects to keep track of everything. My problem is it only goes to 50. I need 2 of these, but that's fun. Hi, cutie. There's a variety of cutting mats that they sent me. There's, oh, 2 of those. That's fun. So there's a vintage strawberry mini mat, which I believe I had one of these sent to me before. And 2 rotating cutting mats, which are kind of interesting. So they have like a little circle on the back, so you can cut and then just rotate this rather than rotating your fabric, which is pretty cool. And then the big one, which also has the circle. It looks like the circle came off, so I might have to glue that back on. So that's pretty cool. Have to see about using those with my quilting. You can enjoy Smokey. We got some stickers that go with Stitching with the Housewives month to month series. I'm not familiar with this because I haven't been following what they've been doing, but these are really fancy stickers, and I'm thinking they might go along with some finishing things with that what do you call it? The stitch along that they have going on. So those are really fun. That's another one that might make a good giveaway, because if somebody else is working on those, I could offer that. So we'll stay tuned for that maybe. Not today, because I still have an ongoing giveaway from last week. to celebrate 12,000 subscribers. So if you're interested in anything I'm giving away, you can go back over to last week's video and keep entering that one using the keywords, not the troll words, until next week, and I'll draw winners next week. I also still have my coupon code up on my my Etsy shop, 12K thanks, which is 12% off all patterns, PDF and print. So, hi Smokey, you're not being very helpful. All right, I got more of these. I love these. They're little sticky notes, the little bee on them. They're different colors. I have these by my Stitchy spot, and I use these a lot for when I'm watching Flosstubes and I have something I want to say, a comment I want to make, and I'm not anywhere near the end of the video. I'll jot down my comment, and then when I'm done watching, then I can go back and kind of refer to that to remember what I wanted to say in my comment. All right, Smokey, gotta get out of here. There's some of these labels that look like library cards, but they're for putting details on the back of your projects. I have some of those that they sent me before. There's a Denim Daisy project bag, which is a nice big one. There's this 3-pack of gingham project bags. And I think I have that one already too, I think. Some of this stuff is stuff that they've already sent, so it's kind of interesting. I'm getting, again, a whole lot of floss drops, which they call, I think they're the floss biddies. So if you like this sort of thing, they have a lot of different kinds. They have Halloween ones, a variety of different. These ones go with like the summer home pattern that I did. This one I think went with the Autumn Beauties pattern. And they have an example here. You can either use them as floss drops or bobbins, or both. This one went with one of the summer ones that had a sailing ship, I think. Here's some Santa Claus ones, old-timey Santa. Some rose. I think it went with like a quilt. Each one I think has 4 different designs on it. They're just not all showing right here. This was like a sewing themed one. And so cute. A little bird. I think that one might go with the postage stamp one. So, all right, so those are fun. And then one more book stand. This is the yellow one. I believe it comes in a couple different colors. So these are pretty hardy. They're metal. You can hold your quilt books. You can hold cookbooks. My sister-in-law took one that I had been given previously and spray painted it black, and she's using it to display, I think, a bird book in her living room to be a display piece. So you can use those for anything you want. So all sorts of crazy stuff. So thank you, Fat Quarter Shop, for sending this my way. I'll have to come up with some creative ways to redistribute the wealth. Now I'll pause while I get this all back in the box. All right, I'm back. So now we can talk about what I worked on this week. As usual, we'll start with my travel stitching. I didn't actually get to my Wander With Me temperature piece this week because I had to drive separately to church on Sunday. That's why. Normally I like to work on that and that's this one. I like to work on this in the car on the way to and from church. We have about a 20-minute commute. So it's nice to use that time profitably, and I can usually get 1 or 2 paws done in that time. So this week we had to drive separately. My husband needed to go early, so I had to drive. I couldn't stitch. So, and I wanted to use my time at home for getting a length of thread in on Knitting Woman and doing as much as I could on sampler stitches. So that's what I did. So I'll get back to that next week. Meanwhile, I worked on my regular travel piece that I use for when I go pick up the kids. I'm in here working on July, getting really close to a finish. So I'm guessing I'll probably finish July this week and can move on to August. That will be great. So here's all of it. This is by the Victoria sampler. and you can find this either the whole thing or little bits on their website in the creative design section. And this one, I'm doing mine on 28 count Dove Gray Monaco, mostly 2/2 full cross. And you can hear Smokey down there messing with that cardboard box. But yeah, I've got the water in, I've got most of this boating scene. There's still like there's still some black and some backstitching. You can kind of see there's like a little water skier and a guy in a boat. I'm just starting the, there's some mountains in the background. I'm not sure I like the color yet, but it's meant to blend in to the background. So I think I chose a good color. I had to go back to my stash to find something because nothing I had pulled really fit. I could have maybe used the gray to make it look like far away, like big mountains, but I'm a little afraid of running out of that gray for just the border. And since it's a fancy floss, I don't have any more. So I went back and found something else. I still need the light green down here. Once the mountains are in, I can do the flagpole and some other backstitching, and yeah, then it will be done, and I can move over to August. I'll do a before for August because probably only one length of thread there in the border will be needed before I get started. So that'll be good. Smokey needs to come sit down and stop playing. You're getting into trouble, kitty. I did not work on my honeybee since I've seen you because I filmed on Tuesday last week, but I do hope to get that out today. My Mill Hill piece, so that will be hopefully something I can do. I did work a little bit on my Under the Sea Club. So this one is by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. It's their mystery stitch along for 2022. I'm working up in the border. So I did a couple lengths of thread while I was talking with my sister. I did not end up getting any bonus extra stitching like I sometimes do. This coming week I might be able to because my kids have a dentist appointment. So it's the sort of project I'll grab for dentist appointments, or if my family's watching TV and, together, a show that's not got a major interesting plot. Usually something like BattleBots or Lego Masters or something I could usually stitch. So we didn't do any of that this week, but this week hopefully I'll get a little bit of extra time to make some more progress on this. Here is 25 count 1/1 full cross, kind of a mystery medium blue even weave with almost all my own colors. The wave color is the only called for. I finished this corner pretty much. I'm kind of working like trying to complete the border. So there's 3 colors in the border. Like there were the pearls. So then I did pearls here and here. I did the bubbles, and then I did the dark color or the solid color, I guess, until it ran out. And then I went back to the variegated color and did that till that ran out. Now I'm going to go back to the pearls and do that. So everything, like the next thing that's missing, like here, everything's complete except for these pearls. So I'll go back to the pearls and then do that until my string runs out and just keep filling in the border in that fashion so that it will be slowly completed. And I was a little nervous because it felt like there was just so much left to stitch over here, but then this is the edge. This is this one, so it will go over just a little on the other side of the anchor. It'll be about to here. Not that bad. So having this border in place made me feel better. That the space left to fill is not as like this yawning chasm. It's manageable. So those little otters won't be enormous. So I'm excited about that. Hopefully I can get back to that more than once this week to try to make up some time. And then Knitting Woman. I did work on this one for bonus stitching. You could say this is equivalent to, come sit, Smokey, come sit. This is equivalent to things like Daily 30, 25/7, some of those types of challenges where you just work on it for a little bit every day in addition to your main project. So that's what this one is. That's what Honeybee will be on Mondays for Mill Hill Monday, just a little bit before I work on my main piece. So this one, I managed to do it on every day except for Thursday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I got a little bit on it. Let's see, a total 2, 3, maybe about 400 stitches. So not a full 100 every time, but overall I think it ended up being about that. And so 5 days, 400 stitches. And these are half stitches as well. I have some on my needle because I got a nice long blend and I worked until I had a little over 100 stitches and then I stopped. So I'll do the rest of that thread another day. But here is this 22 count 2/1 half stitches. It's got blends, so it needs the 2 strands. And yeah, you could probably see I filled in a little bit like here and in her hand. There's a little bit down in the cat too. It's coming along. This one will actually see a large chunk of time this week. So I'm very excited about that to kind of bump it over, you know, push it forward a lot more. So I had decided, I realized the way I had originally plotted out my October was to have all my Whip Go pieces for October on my Monday through Wednesday slots. And then my Thursday through Saturday slots were, let's see, they were my new start on Autumn Montage, Knitting Woman, and then last month's Whip Go pieces that I didn't get to that were also Fancy Ladies. And then I realized I need my Fancy Ladies on the Monday through Wednesday spot. Those days of my week tend to be the busiest with the least amount of stitching time, which I know gives less opportunity for progress on my Fancy Ladies. But my Fancy Lady like Whip Go goal is 3 days, no stitch count. My full coverage Whip Go goal has a stitch count. So I need the extra time on the weekends to get to that goal of 1,000 stitches. I don't think I could make that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So I rearranged just a little bit. It won't affect this week, but going forward, the last 2 weeks in October, I'll have my September Fancy Lady Whip Go pieces in my Monday through Wednesday spots. And then my October full coverage pieces will be my Thursday through Saturday spots. So there is that. This week, my full coverage spot for Thursday through Saturday will be Knitting Woman. So I will work on her for 3 full days, bonus stitching, regular stitching, all the stitching. So I'm excited to see how much I get on her during that time. This week, my Whip Go piece for October that I worked on was Time for Myself by Soda Stitch. So I gave this 3 days and had a lot of fun. I did manage to finish her face. I was very excited. That was kind of my goal. I wanted to get her face backstitched, and I did it. I was a little nervous about it, but I did it. So let's see, here she is. She is on 32 count Whisper Belfast 2/2 full cross. Isn't she pretty? So I managed to finish her skin, finish the pinks in her cheek and lips, and a little bit of extra on my needle went to her shirt. And then her eyebrow and eyelid also had some colors in her hair, so whatever was left went up into her hair as well, and then I was able to backstitch all her details. So super fun. Next time I'll probably do more hair so she looks a little bit more normal, but I am so happy that I got her face done. She's pretty. Oh good, Smokey came up here. Hopefully she'll settle down. And so that got 3 days. I guess I already worked on it for a single day before I talked to you at the last week's video, but 2 more days, got all that done. Then I started Autumn Montage, which I started with Colette, the Highway Stitcher. This is by Pain Free Crafts, and it's my last montage, so now I have all 4 started. And it's up here. I did some leaves. As I was stitching, I'm like, what am I even stitching? I thought it was more sticks and stuff, but then but then I realized the actual corner is a leaf. So you can see the start of this leaf right here, which is pretty cool. I managed to get my 1,000 stitches on this. I got 1,012. This is on 28 count mushroom Lugana, 1/1 full cross. And there's my start. So that's exciting. You can see the border stitches are hard to show, but they are there. They do blend in quite a bit. Colette is using like a green fabric, and I think it's a great choice because her stitches, like tan beige stitches show up a lot better than mine do. But as long as I'm stitching under my nice daylight light bulb, I can do it. So yeah, pretty excited about that. I ended up doing what I had mentioned where I use my typewriter method of choosing symbols within the first 10 by 10 square. So my first 10 by 10 square is completely stitched. Second 10 by 10 square is almost completely stitched. So I'm pretty happy with that. And then you can see a little chunk of something happening, which is nice. And I believe on these montages, I'll do a similar thing to what I'm gonna do on Cat Alphabet, where I'll do the first little block. Like, so this first section, I'll do, like, I'll fill it in all the way before I go on to this section. Then I'll fill that in all the way. Then one of these, you know, will be next. So that's kind of how I'm planning to do that. I won't necessarily go all the way to the edge of the piece like I might in some other cases. I'll do the whole, like, block of whatever it is, and then I'll move on to the next block. So that's my plan for all of those. And so now I have all of these finished, and I'm hoping to get these out at least once in each season next year as well for another 1,000 stitches. They'll be slow going, but they're pretty, so I'm happy to work on them for as long as it takes. Then I did manage to work on Sampler of Stitches on Sunday, and I'm really excited. I got back to this. It had been so long, and I was getting discouraged thinking this thing is never getting finished, but I have hope. So this is this one by The Drawn Thread. You can find this on their website at least. It comes in 9 different patterns. So you do have to buy them separately. Each pattern comes with any embellishments that particular pattern might need. I realized if I do 1 letter a week at this point, I should be able to finish, although this one does have this like initials section at the bottom, which is extra. So I would need to do a little bit more than 1 letter a week in order to get to there also. So O, I finished O, I'm so excited. Finished, and the N was almost done stitched. So I finished N, did O, and started in on P this week. So if I can make a decent amount of progress every Sunday for the rest of the year, I'll be okay. But that's a tall order to not have any more missed days. So we'll see how it goes. I would like to. This is the first one I worked on. Finished O down here. And started in on this one. Just one, this stitch up here in the top corner is the only one I did. But I got started on it. That's the important thing. Here is it all together. This is on 30 count custard cream linen. I'll show it closer so you can see kind of a better before and after. 1/2 full crosses for the main cross stitch pieces. And then specialty stitches or whatever it's called for. So if it's 1 strand or 2, sorry. Yeah, so really excited to get back to that. I ended up, as you could probably see the indentation, I needed a hoop to do this one because this stitch had like, it's an oriental couching stitch, and they had long strips of thread that then you went back with another color and couched. So in hand, it would have been really hard to keep the tension of being that long, and those stitches are probably going to warp a little bit because they were like on the diagonal a little bit. So used a hoop, pretty happy with how that turned out. There's a little owl that's cross-stitched, oriental road stitches, open basket filling stitch, and an open wave stitch. So all the O stitches. And then this one was a Peruvian rug stitch or something. I don't even know what that one was, but it's pretty dense. It was made with the silk pearl, and I'm happy to get a start on that at least. So next Sunday, this Sunday coming up, I hopefully will get the P done, or at least a good chunk of it. Ideally even move down into the Q, but there's a lot of specialty stitches in this PQR set. So maybe it could be good, because sometimes the specialty stitch chunks can be kind of big, so then you feel like you're doing them forever. But it also is you're having to learn more specialty stitches, which takes a little bit of mental energy to kind of, what do I need to do now? So we'll see. I am excited to get back to that though. And it wasn't hard or terrible. It was enjoyable. So happy about that, and I'm pleased with the progress I made. So hopefully going forward, I can make some good progress on that and get it done this year, or at least soon into the new year. That would be great. So I'll keep working on that for my Sunday stitch. And plans are pretty simple, because I already told you that's on Sunday. Knitting Woman is getting my full coverage chunk Thursday through Saturday. And so my WIPCO number 2 for October on my Fancy Lady board is Fantasy Triptych. Originally, I was kind of dreading working on this, because it's like I had been working on the Maiden, and all the background in these panels is crazy, and I had started to highlight the chart, and that does help. But even still, I was missing symbols and kind of a bear, so I wasn't looking forward to this. But when I pulled it out in my whip parade, I had the idea that I could maybe come up here and finish the turrets on the castle, which sounds really fun. So I'm actually thinking I'm gonna do that. And I haven't worked on this in a long time. This was originally started by my sister-in-law, and she didn't want to work on it anymore. She kind of like moved away from the medieval theme for decorating, and was like, she's not really a cross stitcher. She's dabbled in it. She likes ribbon embroidery and some other things, but she was kind of stalled out. And I said, well, I could finish it for you or work on it for you. So I'll probably give it back to her when it's done, but it'll be a while. So this is 25 count even weave, mostly 2/2, but their faces are charted 1/1, and there are fractionals and blends, as Teresa Wentzler does a lot. So the castle, I mentioned in my whip parade, the castle was stitched by my sister-in-law. I did a good chunk of the trees. I think she maybe have a little bit of trees, but most of the trees, at least in this chunk, was me when I first picked it up. And then I got tired of that and moved over to some border and started in on the lady. This is just finishing my strings from some of her colors. So I do have more border I could do up here, but I was thinking it'd be fun, I'll do it up close of this, to work on castle this time, to get some of that top bits finished. So I think it could be fun. It's interesting blending our styles, because the way she interpreted the chart may be differently than how I would currently interpret the chart, especially on like fractional areas. So I think that's why I've avoided that part in the past, but I think I'm ready for it now, and I think it'd be fun to get that started to be completed up there. So that's my plan. I'll spend 3 days on that and see what I can do up there constructing my castle. So, and hopefully Honeybee a little bit today, and Knitting Woman will get a little bit today, tomorrow, and Wednesday also, and Sunday, in addition to the 3 full days. So that should be great. Yeah, so I think that's everything. Smokey finally settled down. So yeah, I am enjoying getting back to all my things. Oh, I didn't bring I have plans that I'm kind of toying with for 2023, as you might expect. I tend to do that. I didn't bring them up here with me, but should I share them now? I should probably wait because I want my numbers. I have some plans I'm pretty excited about. I keep kind of, not really, the main plans I've been very happy with, but I'm kind of toying with little things I'm adding and adjusting that are like peripheral plans. So I'm pretty happy with how things are shaping up, which hopefully will let me touch all my pieces next year and have some flexibility to participate in challenges as they come up. So that's the plan. And hopefully it works. With that, I will leave you to your stitching or your life, whatever you're working on, and hopefully come back next week, and happy stitching. Bye.